After dealing with Dwight, the party leaves the hotel. Once outside, Ichiban takes the time to thank Chitose for saving them and officially welcomes her to the team. Tomizawa is skeptical, but he can't really say much since he held Ichiban at gunpoint. He lets her know he'll be keeping a close eye on her, and Chitose officially joins the party. At the bar, the party goes over what they know about Akane. Kiryu shares what the Daidoji faction gathered on her with Chitose, asking her to point out anything she notices. There isn't much information to go off of. It seems as part of the public, Akane kept a very low profile. Chitose does notice that there is no mention of her career, a director of a local orphanage. She says she's never been there, but knows its location, making it their best lead. The party makes plans to head to the orphanage the next day. On the way to the orphanage, Ichiban asks Chitose what type of person Akane is, explaining that she meant the world to his boss, and wonders what he saw in her. She thinks it's nice Ichiban wants to meet his mother, and says they should find Akane quick so he can get his own first impression, as she doesn't want to put anything in his head. She confides in Ichiban that she wishes she felt the same way about her mother, or even anyone in her family. He listens to her feelings, but before the conversation can go any further, the party arrives outside of the orphanage. Tomizawa notices a symbol over the building, the Flame of Palakana. He explains that Palakana are a volunteer group in Hawaii, soup kitchens, picking up trash on the beach, charity work. In the past, Palakana fed him when he couldn't afford food on his own. They're greeted by a Palakana member outside. Ichiban explains that they're there to ask about Akane. The member immediately drops the plates she's holding and covers her mouth. Startled, she quickly asks if Akane was okay and if they found her. We cut to inside of Palakana orphanage, now seated with the woman. She apologizes for her outburst, as she thought they were the police. Ichiban apologizes for getting her hopes up. She then introduces herself. Her name is Dana, a caretaker at the orphanage. She says she has been working with Akane for about 20 years now, but about 13 days ago, Akane disappeared, only leaving a single note behind, saying, "I resign due to unforeseen circumstances." Dana thought this was incredibly out of character. She reported her disappearance to the police, but after they confirmed that the handwriting was indeed Akane's, the case was dropped. Dana has no clue where she could have gone. From what the party gathers, Akane is clearly loved and respected by the people in Palakana and the orphanage. Dana doubts that there's anyone who'd want to do her harm, describing Akane as one of their most devout members. Dana then reveals that Palakana is not only a charity, but also a religion, tracing over hundreds of years in the past. Palakana centered its worship around Nele, the volcano goddess, seeing volcanoes as symbols of fear and destruction, or balance and restoration. A religion grounded in nature, focused on treating the land and those who live in it with compassion. Tomizawa comments that when he went to a Palakana food bank, it was a nice experience, and its members never really pushed their religion onto him. Kiryu notices that the children in the orphanage seem like believers as well. Dana explains that they're not in the business of preaching, hoping that by exemplifying their teachings in their daily lives, the people and children may see their faith in action and believe, describing Akane as unmatched in these qualities. So she finds it hard to believe that Akane had enemies, finding her leaving without a word of goodbye as bizarre. After talking to Dana, the party decides to help another Palakana member, Kalen, with the food bank, believing by retracing Akane's daily routine, they may come upon some new information, but they only learn more about what type of person Akane was, and are unable to find any useful information on her location. Kalen then asks the party to meet him at the beach to pick up trash. When they arrive, the party witnesses the Palakana members pray towards a certain direction. Kalen explains it's in the direction of Nele Island, a sacred land to their faith. Only the most faithful and those chosen by the Palakana sage are able to go to the island. Ichiban wonders if Akane wanted to go to the island, but Kalen explains unlike himself, Akane never cared or thought about herself, only others. She never sought to be rewarded or recognized for her actions. After cleaning the beach, Ichiban gazes out into the wide ocean. Chitose sneaks up on him, and the two spend a moment together to talk. She asks, once he meets Akane and confirms she's his mother, what comes next? He says he hasn't given it much thought. He doubts that the two of them will cry their eyes out, but for now, the plan is to give her Arakawa's ashes and keep the rest short and sweet. Chitose envies Ichiban and his hope for family and connections. For Chitose, she feels as though her family's a curse she's unable to get rid of. She wants Ichiban's ability to live his life freely. She then apologizes for bringing up her personal problems and dumping them on him. But before the conversation ends, Ichiban tells Chitose that they could run away together, telling her if she wants to get away from her family, he would gladly help. Chitose thinks Ichiban is messing with her, but he doubles down, promising if she wants to run away, he will take her somewhere the Fujinomiyas are unable to reach, saying it's the least he can do after she saved his life. Chitose lets Ichiban know from how he's talking, it sounds like he wants to elope with her. Ichiban begins to panic and turns around, saying he should keep his feelings bottled up inside, remembering the time he proposed to Psycho, and now Chitose is getting the wrong message. She finds Ichiban's awkwardness funny and pokes at him. He snaps out of his pity party and apologizes for scaring her, saying he's not the best talker, but he wants her to know that he's here for her, emphasizing he wants them to stay friends. She accepts his apology and sighs, turning around and asking herself how clueless can he get. The moment ends when Kalen lets them know that their work is done and thanks them for their help. Before she leaves, Chitose thanks Ichiban for their talk. After cleaning the beach, there are still no new clues on Akane's location. Her next role every night was to patrol the area. During the patrol, the party bumps into some Chinese gang members harassing a store. The Palakana members quickly go to his defense, but before the gangsters can hurt them, Ichiban and his friends intervene. During the fight, one of the gangsters pulls a gun, but he's interrupted by the arrival of Palakana sage, Bryce Fairchild. As if miracle or magic, when the gangster tried to fire at Bryce, the gun jammed and exploded in his face. Bryce and the party meet back at the orphanage and talk. Ichiban shares why he's looking for Akane, and Bryce explains that after leaving Japan, Akane came to Hawaii to connect to her roots, but she received no help from her family. That is when she eventually joined Palakana. He fears the orphanage wouldn't have lasted so long without her help, so he comes from Nele Island to see how things are going every now and then. After everything he's witnessed, Ichiban is happy Akane found a place she felt like she belonged. During the conversation, he notices Chitose's missing and heads out to find her, but unknown to him, she's hiding outside talking to someone on the phone. Clearly, she is hiding something from the party, but then she hears Ichiban calling for her. She hangs up the phone and rejoins the party. The next day, Chitose comes up with a plan. Since they're not able to find Akane on their own, maybe the next best idea is to have Akane find Ichiban. Believing by making a viral video and advertising Ichiban, Akane will see the viral video and she'll reach out.
Allow me to introduce myself. I come from Kamurocho. Some would call it the armpit of Tokyo, Japan. Born and raised from the suds of an inner-city soapland, the name's Ichiban Kasuga. Some have even called me the hero of Yokohama. Separated from my mother at birth, I am now on a quest to find her. And so I've traveled land and sea, only to find myself right here in Honolulu City. Mom, if you're out there, I just want to say I love you. And to everyone else, aloha!
He's a natural-born showman.
Hey, don't just straight up ignore the cue cards. Dude, I put my heart into these.
It's fine. This is way better material.
Now then, as this dragonfish on my back implies, I'm a former but forever rambling Yakuza. So while I search for my dear old mom, I'll be showing you all the sights this island has to offer. I call it Yakuza Kahuna Hawaiian Style!
After editing and uploading the video, the party meets up at the bar. Chitose and Tomizawa are impressed how much of a showman Ichiban is. He reminisces about the time he ran for office to foil Masato Arakawa's plans. During their conversation, Chitose receives a DM about the video. She says an IG would like to meet up somewhere. Ichiban believes it's IG from the airplane, wanting to check up on him. Having no other leads and time to kill, he decides to meet with him. When they arrive, IG is surprised to see Tomizawa accompanying him, and is confused that they're now friends after everything he did to him. Ichiban understands the confusion and says they should all sit down and he'll bring them up to speed. Once everything is cleared up and IG is caught up, Ichiban introduces him to Kiryu and Chitose. When Chitose introduces herself, she is meek and quiet, not her usual self. Ichiban notices something is off, but IG changes the subject. He wishes to help everyone with the video and the search for Akane. Ichiban is thankful for his help, but he asks if he doesn't have his own life to worry about at the moment and doesn't want to drag him in. IG explains that he lost his job in Japan, and that's the reason he came back to Hawaii. He currently feels embarrassed when he's at home and wishes to help Ichiban keep himself busy. Ichiban accepts his answer and help, but says he isn't able to promise that there won't be trouble down the line, as they're dealing with multiple gangs. Before they can talk more, Kiryu notices a group of men surrounding the party. The Chinese mafia are looking for Akane as well, believing by capturing her son, she will come out of hiding. A fight breaks out and the party easily handles the thugs. Ichiban tries to get more information from the thugs, but it's clear they don't know anything. They're just doing what they're told. Kiryu suggests that they retreat to his hotel room and take IG with them, but when they arrive, a group of men are waiting for them outside. It's Yamai, but he has no interest in anyone but Kiryu, claiming there's no better reward than a head of a dragon. A fight breaks out and the party handle Yamai and his men, but after the fight, Yamai is disappointed and begins to wonder if he is truly the dragon of Dojima, as either the dragon lost his bite or the legends outgrew him. All he knows is that Kiryu is a terrible liar. Ichiban then warns Yamai to never lay a hand on Tomizawa ever again, as he's with him now, and he's never coming back. Yamai shrugs and acts as if he doesn't know Tomizawa, claiming he tends to forget those who don't interest him. He looks at Kiryu and says he hopes he's the real deal. Yamai then walks away and lets the party know he can't wait until they fight again, and hopes the dragon will bare his fangs then. Now that the hotel is compromised, Kiryu takes the party to a safe house where the Daidoji faction is located. Inside, the party meets Kihei Hanawa, the Daidoji faction agent Kiryu answers to. He's a bit annoyed that Kiryu gave away his name and location, but Kiryu vouches for the party, saying that they're invaluable in finding Akane, and that they're also the only ones close to finding her. Hanawa accepts the party and asks them to share everything they know about Akane, as they wish to keep her safe as well. He then comments on Ishiban's viral video, saying while it was entertaining, it caused more trouble than it was worth, effectively advertising himself and multiplying his enemies, with nothing to show for it. Kiryu then asks Ichiban to reveal his real plan. Ichiban isn't surprised Kiryu caught on so quickly, and he explains. The best case scenario was for Akane to contact them herself. Secondly, he used the video as a way to gauge who is all looking for her, baiting the gangs to come after him, as only those who have info on Akane would show up. After going through who showed up, Ichiban deduces the Gangja, the Chinese mafia, may know more about Kane than anyone else, giving them their next big lead. Kiryu wonders how the Gangja knew Ichiban was Akane's son, as he made no mention of it in the video, as the only one who knows is Captain Sawashiro in Japan. Kiryu thinks that there's a leak by someone close to Akane, but the only way to find out is to interrogate at least the Gangja officer. IG suggests the owner of the Nirvana Hotel, as there are rumors circulating that he is involved with the Gangja, or even maybe their leader. His name is Wang Tao, and Hanawa confirms Aiji's suspicions, saying the Gangja rapidly expanded right around the time he opened the Nirvana Hotel. Wang Tao is definitely either an officer or higher in the Gangja chain. Ichiban asks Hanawa if there's a way they can easily get to him. He finds it unlikely, but he reveals deep inside the Nirvana Hotel is an exclusive casino for high rollers, where Wang Tao personally serves the guests there. Rumor has it, the Gangja have set up similar smaller casinos all over Hawaii. He believes that if someone can prove that they have the cash at one of those casinos, there's a good chance they'll receive an invite to the Nirvana Hotel casino. Using one of Tomizawa's connections, the party is able to find one of these secret casinos, but the party struggles to make any sort of impression to get an invite. That's when Chitose steps up and tells the manager she wishes to get an invite to the Nirvana Hotel, as she is a Fujinomiya. Ichiban asks if this is okay, as her family may find out, and she simply tells Ichiban that they'll just run away together then. The manager confirms with his supervisors that she is indeed the real deal. He then humbly invites Miss Fujinomiya to the Nirvana Hotel.
Yeah, this is way cheesier than I imagined.
No, this place is definitely catering to the VIPs. Take a look.
What are those?
Gaming plaques for all the high rollers. One right there's 100 grand.
For one bet? Fuck that.
Kasuga, you seeing this?
Yeah. Anyone look like the kind of guy Wong To might approach? Like someone really raking it in?
Not yet.
Hey, handsome.
You son, what the hell are you doing?
Just giving you a little change of scenery.
Thank you.
By doing that? How thoughtful.
The plan was for Ichiban to run surveillance, as the Gangja would instantly recognize him, while Chitose, Kiryu, and Tomizawa tried to get into contact with Wong, but Wong is clever and one step ahead of them. He waves to Ichiban surveying through Kiryu's glasses, and asks for him to join them inside the hotel, as he wishes to speak to him, implying that if he doesn't come in, he'll kill his friends. Once Ichiban joins up, Wong has them taken to his office. He asks Ichiban for more information on Akane, but he simply says he doesn't have any, and if he did, he wouldn't tell him anyways. This annoys Wong and he summons his men, telling them to kill everyone but Ichiban. A fight then breaks out, but the party is able to defeat Wong and his men. Ichiban corners Wong and asks him what they want with Akane. He reveals that it was a request, just like with the Barracudas, a request from someone called the Overseer, explaining that on the outside, the gangs of Hawaii may look like they're against each other, but they're all working for the same person. Akane stole the Overseer's treasure, and all the gangs are competing to get it back in order to win the Overseer's favor. One of Wong's men speaks out in Chinese, telling Wong to keep quiet, and that the Overseer does not appreciate betrayal. Wong is surprised that there was an Overseer spy among his men. The spy tells Wong that he has crossed the line and will be punished, saying it falls to him to send the signal. Wong is confused by what he means, but the man suddenly bites Tomizawa and gets away from him, using the opportunity to jump out the window and commit suicide, chanting to himself, "My life for his word." Ichiban is horrified by the sight, as he has no idea what just happened. Wong explains to the party what the man was saying. Kiryu is correct in assuming that he was an Overseer's spy, and it seems his death was supposed to be a signal for something. Wong thinks for a moment, then goes into a panic, yelling that his son is in danger. He begs the party to untie his men and head to his son's room before it's too late. Kiryu believes Wong's urgency and the party follow him towards his son's location, but when they get to the elevator, they are jumped by even more of the Overseer's men. It seems as though a lot of Wong's faction has been working for the Overseer this whole time. The men reveal that Wong's son has already been taken hostage. After defeating the spies, Ichiban asks if Wong knows where they may have taken his son. He has no idea, but he asks the party to take him to safety, and he will give them more information, as the Nirvana Hotel has been compromised. The plan is to take Wong to the safe house, but the party is continuously harassed by the Overseer's men, some even being part of the police and the Barracudas. One of the men is successful in stabbing Wong in the leg. Ichiban and Chitose mend him the best they can and hide in a nearby tree line. Tomizawa heads out to find a vehicle. Meanwhile, everyone else takes time to talk to Wong.
The Overseer. The one in charge. Is Bryce.
Bryce? As in...
The Sage of Polycana. Conniving old bastard. He's the one who had us do the search.
No way. I met him. He's the one behind this? Why? After everything Akane-san's done, all she wanted was to help people. And now, an entire religion's coming after her?
We caught this on camera about 2 weeks back. Polycana. It's their orphanage, right?
Sure seems like it. Yeah. This is where she worked.
Hey, tell me, who's this girl with Akane-san?
She's not just some girl. You see, Bryce is really after her. Her name is Lonnie. This island, Bryce may think of himself as its new god, but she could take that all away. The girl's his Achilles heel. Knowing how Bryce works, he'll do whatever it takes to track her down and snuff her out.
Snuff her out? A poor little girl?
Kiryu wonders who Bryce truly is, and how one man can rule the entire Hawaiian criminal underworld. Wong says he doesn't know, saying by the time he gained prominence, Bryce was already in charge, at least going back 30 years. Years ago, Wong drove out the previous Chinese mafia presence, becoming a king of a new regime in Hawaii. But before he made his next move, Wong was visited by a messenger from the overseer. Thinking he was a nobody, Wong sent the messenger away. A week later, he received a mysterious package sent from his hometown. Inside was his mother's head. That's when he realized Bryce was not someone to be trifled with. Wong has been planning his revenge for years now, handpicking his own men, as he had no idea what knowledge would lead back to Bryce. But as we witnessed, Bryce still infiltrated his ranks with spies. Wong learned that Bryce's spies are bred from Palakana itself. Using his position as sage, Bryce influences his believers, and once he has their trust, he makes himself their object of worship, following every command, even death, as long as it's for his sake. Wong doesn't know why exactly Bryce is hunting down Lonnie. He only knows that he's desperate, as never before did the overseer give them commands directly and personally. Clearly, the girl had leverage over him, so Wong planned to use her against Bryce if he found her first. Kiryu looks at Lonnie's picture, remembering the time when he found a young girl lost in the darkness many years ago. Kiryu says she needs someone to show her a way out, that there is a light at the end of this tunnel. Ichiban agrees, and Wong exclaims that Bryce has his son as well and refuses to abandon him as he tries to get himself upstanding. But then Chitose quickly tells him to be quiet, as she can hear men nearby searching. It's Yamai. Wong explains that Yamai doesn't work for the overseer and isn't on his radar, as he's too small time. Yamai is simply using the opportunity to wipe out the Gangsha for good, as they collapse from the inside. Believing that Wong is still in the area, as he's in no condition to move, Yamai sets the trees on fire and smokes the party out, forcing them to come out and confront him. Putting their faith in Tomizawa, the party fights to protect Wong until help arrives. Things are looking grim, but Tomizawa makes it in the nick of time. As the rest of the party load up in the car, Kiryu stands his ground against Yamai's men, telling them to leave him behind. Ichiban begs for them not to, but Chitose and Tomizawa make the decision to honor his wish and drive off. Back at the Daidoji safe house, Ichiban tries to contact Kiryu through his cell phone, but there's no luck. Aiji also comments that they must have shut his phone off, as he's unable to track its GPS. Hanawa believes that that's a good sign, as there would be no reason to shut Kiryu's phone off if they simply killed him. He's most likely being held hostage at Yamai's headquarters. Tomizawa believes he knows where they're holding Kiryu, but it won't be an easy fight, as they're going into his stronghold, and they're down a man. Things seem hopeless. But as if by fate, Ichiban gets a call on his phone, and reinforcements arrive.
Yo, Ichiban! Nanba! Adachi-san!
Sorry to keep you.
You guys are really here! Man, feels like a lifetime since we last saw each other.
Hey, come on. It hasn't been that long. What the hell you been doing out here?
Better question. Who are the kids, huh?
Oh, right. Let me introduce you. This is Chi-chan and Tomi.
Yeah, how's it
We've
going?
been duking it out with every gang on the island. Now, we're all pals.
Hey there.
I see. So they're the new party for Hawaii, huh?
All right, but what's this about gangs? How'd you even get involved in something like that? I thought you were here to meet your mom.
Actually, it's kind of a long story.
Yeah, where do we start? I mean, I was born and raised in...
I think that's going a little too far back. Next time, yeah?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Kiryu-san's locked up in enemy territory. Give me a sec, and I'll get you guys up to speed.
Sure.
Sorry to spring that, seeing as you just got here.
This ain't the first time, and sure as hell ain't the last, right?
Yeah, what else is new? Sure beats sitting on your ass. Plus, it's for Kasuga. If I gotta get jerked around now and then, so be it.
Well, I told you, they're the best, didn't I?
You were right.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Told you.
Yeah.
Right, big guy.
Right?
Doing it.
Okay, we got a dragon to save.
Keep that up, I'm gonna have to get some of that poke.
Adachi and Nanba join the party. After catching the two up on the situation, the party heads to Yamai's base of operations, the Night Square. Tomizawa suggests asking the tattoo shop owner for information, as she is known to not fear Yamai and his men, and is even respected by him for it. The owner doesn't have any information on Kiryu, but warns the party that Yamai's men are gathering outside of her shop. Ichiban thanks the owner, and figures he can ask them instead. After the brawl, the party learns that Yamai is held up in the nearby theater along with Kiryu. After fighting through waves of Yamai's goons, the party makes it to the top of the theater to confront him. Ichiban demands to see Kiryu and that he better be okay. Yamai shrugs to annoy him. Then he looks at Tomizawa and tells him he's impressed he built up the courage to come here and face him directly, and he wonders if he's a joke to him now. Tomizawa replies that the Tomi he knew is long gone, and demands he hand over Kiryu. But Yamai reminds Tomizawa that he used to be one of them, and he should know, to get his way, he has to do more than just talk, challenging the party again to another fight. Once defeated, Ichiban asks him again where Kiryu's being held, but Yamai continues to play dumb and says he doesn't know. Tomizawa threatens to beat Yamai with his own crowbar until he talks. Yamai eggs him on, and it looks like he's about to go through with it until one of Yamai's lady friends tell him to stop, calmly saying that Kiryu is safe and sound, but he won't be if they continue. Ichiban pokes fun at Yamai that he truly does have a way with people, as all of his followers are fiercely loyal. Yamai crosses his arms and scowls, clearly annoyed by his people's intervention. The party is taken to where Kiryu is being held. It seems as though after they escaped, Yamai took Kiryu with him and asked his people to look after him, one of them claiming that Yamai used to look up to Kiryu many years ago. The physician explains that Kiryu has been in bed since he arrived. His wounds are very minor, so whatever is currently wrong with him is internal. He suggests the party take their friend and get him actual help, as all he can provide here is first aid. Tomizawa regrets starting a fight, stating that if he knew the situation, he would have called it off. Adachi agrees, but Yamai is still their enemy, as he is after Akane. Yamai enters the room, and Ichiban asks him to clarify what he plans to do with Akane if he finds her, and why is he even after her in the first place. He explains that the whole Hawaiian underworld is on the hunt for her, simply saying he has no idea what she's worth, but he will find out once he gets his hands on her. Yamai's been in Hawaii for quite some time now. It's been hard to make a name for himself. The Ganja and the Barracudas still look down upon them, but with Akane in his clutches, he will suddenly be at the negotiating table. Chitose expresses her annoyance that Yamai is using Akane and Lonnie's lives as a business deal. Yamai asks who is Lonnie, because as far as he knows, everyone is looking for Akane only. Ichiban is glad he asked, as he believes that means Yamai still has a conscience. He shares everything they learned through Wong, how Bryce is the true leader of the Hawaiian underworld, and that he's desperately after a young girl named Lonnie for some reason, clarifying that Akane somehow found out Lonnie was in danger, so she ran off with her and is currently in hiding. Yamai believes Ichiban's explanation as it answers some of his lingering questions, and he can tell Ichiban isn't too great of a liar as well. He says he's not so strapped for cash that he would prey on a kid, and gives his word that he will leave Akane and Lonnie alone. He then asks them to leave his turf once Kiryu is able to be moved. Ichiban thanks Yamai for helping him, and he simply replies he had nothing to gain, as there is no glory in kicking a corpse.
To me, Kazuma Kiryu is family. Uncle Kaz!
Where do you live? You don't have a home, kid?
The orphanage. I snuck out.
You live in an orphanage? Wait, kid.
Hey, there she is! Get the girl! After her! Don't let her get away!
Stop! Hey, stop! She's just a girl. Keep your hands off her!